Right now I'm enjoying that I can consider it my little performance. I'm not a performance artist by any stretch of imagination, but growing out my gray. That's my latest performance that's going on right here.
Totally. Yeah, I've been able to play on canvas. I've had canvas laying around my studio, and I'm feeling really good about using up stuff that I've had just sitting there in my studio. I'm sure, how do you feel about that, Holly? Do you agree with that? Like all this crap that's been laying around?
Yeah, well, I wish you could see all the stuff piled around my table in my dining room, because I have stuff left from when I had my show at San Juan, where I just was in the midst of making things. So I had brought all this stuff here and then it stayed here because everything fell apart afterwards. And then I just added to it with stuff from the studio.
Yeah.
And then I have ordered a few things from eBay in getting ready for this show at Zinc. So I have this box, I don't know how many pound box came yesterday with the old plastic, well, I guess they still use them, but the plastic raw permanent, for making permanent, the curlers, for the plastic curlers for permanents. Yeah, I have a box of those that just came.
That's perfect. I love it.
Anyway, so yeah, there are lots of really odd things hanging around my house right now, but.
Yeah, well, and I mean, that's one of the things that I've found fortunate about being able to organize and stuff is I've just found stuff that has been sitting, I mean, just crap that I haven't used that I'm sort of rediscovering, you know, and so, yeah, my studio is filled with, here, I'll try to show you, but all those quite some time.
I love those fortune cookie pieces, Jen.
Thank you. Yeah, like canvases that I had made, and they've been sitting literally 7 years. They've been sitting there, so I'm gonna pull those out and just start playing. And that's what these two are on canvas as well. When did you start doing art? What brought you into? And I know many of us have like you know, done it since we were kids and so forth, but like really delving into it.
So I went to UW and did get a BFA there forever ago. But then I pretty quickly had kids, got married and had kids, and so I really shelved it for a long time. And I'm so admire female artists who continue with their practice while having small children. It was just not something that I could wrap my brain around. So I didn't really do anything until about 2004 or so. So it's only been about 15, 16 years that I've really been serious about trying to pursue an art career. So yeah, how about you?
Cool. So I was sort of shocked after I had kids and was just like, whoa, wow, my life is completely gone. Like, you know, like you can't be selfish with kids. You can't, you know, and, you know, those of us who were completely, you know, appreciated our aloneness and, you know, liked to go places without, you know, walks. And so it was very shocking to me how different life was after we had kids. And so I sort of, to be honest, went into a little bit of a depression and didn't know who I was, although I don't mean to say I wasn't happy being a parent. It's like the highlight of my life, and it's everything to me, my kids. But I didn't know who I was anymore. And I, you know, started going to therapy. I needed a lot of help with getting through that time. And I think I came to the conclusion on my own that I needed something to myself, and I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know how to do something when I had small children. And so what I did is at night I would just go to like classes like at Pratt, because I knew I was interested in art. I was always interested in art. So took a bunch of classes at Pratt, at Gage, and realized I was really bad at some things, and I felt really, I mean, at most things, but I connected with a couple of things. What do you think what do you think the role of art is right now? I mean, what do you think our responsibility is as artists right now? Anything? I mean, what is that putting too much pressure on us? Probably.
I think, honestly, I think it is a little bit of too much pressure. I mean, I think historically our role is to document what's happening, right?
Yeah.
So we show what's happening. We're the mirror, right?
Yeah.
But I saw a therapist years ago in the midst of a really traumatic period in my life, and she asked me the first time I showed up, she's like, well, what do you hope to gain from coming to see me? I said, I want you to help me get over this grief. And basically she said is, that's not going to happen because you're in the thick of it. You're still in the midst of this time, and so you can't get over grief. You can't move beyond it when you're in the thick of it already, and not the thick of the grief, but in the thick of the actual thing that was happening in my life that was causing the grief. And I think that's where we are right now, right? We're in the middle of it. So it's not that we can't show that mirror, not that we can't create the work right now. I think for some of us, a lot of us, myself included, it's going to take a while. We have to process a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
But then,
for
yes,
sure.
I think then it's up to us to go like, sort of raise our hands and say, okay, no, this is what we have been going through. And to be that sort of emotional mirror, right? Because sometimes people can't express themselves through words. So we can give them that piece of work to look at, whether they listen to music or see the piece of art, or they go to theater or see a dance, they can see it and then they go, oh my God, that's how I feel.
Yeah.
So I think, to me, that's what we're here for.
Yeah. It's funny because I do feel pressure that I've got to post something that's really, going to help people or whatever. And I mean, I kind of am at the point right now where I need to focus on helping myself a little bit before I can help others.
You got to put the oxygen mask on first, baby.
Yeah, exactly. So for to give me some comfort, I have been baking tons. I have been baking cinnamon bread. I've been baking scones every couple of days. I'll bake scones, which I was doing before, but I'm just doing it so much more. And I almost felt like with the flour shortage, it was sort of like I was more drawn to finding flour than I had ever been drawn to finding anything else. I felt like we were in like the prohibition, and I was like dying for alcohol. I just was absolutely determined to find flour, which I finally did. And yeah.
So I haven't been baking much, and I want to be reading. I have all these great books that I'm like, oh, I've got this time I can read, but I can't focus. I'm having a really difficult time focusing to read more than like a newspaper article. But what I've been doing is watching really silly, dumb TV, and that lifts my spirits. That just,
me too.
I have it on when I'm bending wire, because I can sit there and bend while I have the TV on. So I watch, like, I've rewatching Schitt's Creek,
Oh yeah.
just because it's silly, and the people are just they're ridiculous, but they make me happy, and it lifts my spirit. So that's one of the big things.
Try to buy something from people's websites or contact Zinc and do have a little commission made for that wall that you've been trying to decorate for years and haven't gotten to. And I'm speaking to people that have extra money right now, because I think everyone's tightening their belt, but we do have a stronger support system right now for the arts.
Absolutely.